the other
Oh, I
day.
don't even think I know about this.
Probably not. It's something that I picked up. The guy was like, "Yeah, the other one of these that I sold went for $450. So you made out like you made out like a bandit." Because I was like, it was a lot less than that, like $50 was what I got.
Wow.
So yeah, I'll have to talk about that.
Yeah, no kidding. Hello, chat room.
Hello, everybody.
Who's here?
Well,
I don't
welcome.
I don't put did I put Nightbot in here?
Let's see.
Go, Nightbot, go.
Go, Nightbot, go.
Go, Night. Yay.
I don't care what anybody says. I liked the Speed Racer movie, the one the Wachowski brothers did.
Oh, you did?
It was over the top. It looked like it was so colorful and so vibrant and just so. I mean, it was like a live action anime,
Yeah.
shot wise, and so
Yeah.
it's like I respect what they did. No, it's not the best movie, but it's if you just sit back and enjoy the fun, it's fun.
For what it is.
Yeah, it's not it's not the best cinema material, but it was. I had fun and I enjoyed it.
All right.
Plus, the soundtrack was good. It was exciting.
It's like go, go, go.
Yes. It's like I had to drive for a couple hours after I saw that movie, and I was like, I really don't need to be on the road because now I really want to speed. Oh, I really do want to speed. What was I gonna do? Yeah.
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 I tweeted.
Gotta find the thing.
I tweeted.
Got to find the thing that I'm looking for.
Says we're live. Says we're here.
Says we are live.
Hello, people. We're so excited to be back. Yay.
We are very excited to be back. Yes.
So excited to be back. Like, seriously?
I'm just like sitting here floored, even though I'm in a chair. I mean, really, my feet are floored because I'm on the floor with my feet. But I'm sitting down, so I'm not floored, but I'm chaired because I'm in a chair.
I don't think that's how it works.
That's F. I don't know. It's just going somewhere. I don't know where it's going.
I don't think that's how it's supposed to be. Like, your feet are on the floor and you're like, yeah.
My feet are floored.
Okay.
Just like the rest. I am physically I'm like mentally and spiritually, psychologically floored that we are back.
Marconin's
But-
is hot. Okay.
But physically, I can turn it down.
I'll turn you down. Don't worry.
Okay.
Let me adjust you because everything got a little futzed when I moved and I had to unplug everything.
We're adjusting.
So let's see if that's any better. Is that like okay?
Is that better?
I brought him down
I was
a bit.
talking up a little bit, so.
Nah, it wasn't you. It's my settings.
Hello.
Oh, hello. It's me. Let's see if that's better. Is that better?
That sounds better, thanks.
Y'all.
It sounds better.
Y'all. Sound about the same now? Good.
Yeah.
Good. That's normal. When I unplug everything, the system kind of goes, oh, crap. What did you do to it? And then I have to fix everything. No, wait. Actually, Kalani has to fix everything. And because he's like, what happened to your system? Well, I unplugged everything.
Everything was unplugged and then moved.
It's everything got moved, relocated, put back together. Yeah, no. So it's expected that things are gonna get a little hot under the collar.
Hot under the collar.
Did
you see the shirt that I'm wearing, Jules?
Well, the stream can't see it because
The stream can't see it.
You cut off like right here.
Yeah.
Right there.
I'm wearing my Well Played shirt that I got at the movie meetup.
Oh, I love it. It's the green one, isn't it?
Yes. It's Hunter Green.
Still waiting for the cat tree cam. I know. Marconin can see him on the side cam right
I see
now.
the cat tree.
I'm waiting for them to get settled so that they can find their spots. And I think Garrus has found his spot. But then I have to figure out how to set up a camera to get to the tree that's over there. I don't know if you guys can see it if I turn the monitor. No, you can't because it's too low. But he's on that tree. So that's what's happening right there. Let's see. That's not centered. That's more centered. That looks better. Because if I move the camera itself, then I got to adjust the whole thing, and it's just kind of a pain in the butt, and then we don't have a show as fast as we normally do, and it's just kind of annoying.
We just got to do it. It's got to be this way. Mm-hmm. It's this way or the highway.
Yes. Well, I can show you the other. Let me go. Give me a 1 minute. I'll show you the other cam so that you can see what's happening. It'll be 1 second.
Give me a 1 minute.
You can see the side camera that Marconin sees because he doesn't see the camera on the stream. But there it is, right there. And there's a cat that's up there, and it's not... Okay, that's wrong. Let me fix that. Let me get that. Nope, that's not it either. There he is. He's up in the corner right there.
Yep. He's up there.
Say hi, kitty. It's right there. That's the other camera. That's the one that Marconi gets to watch the whole time when we do the show. So I'll flip that on back and forth. I've got it in there. But Marconi gets the camera on the other computer so he can see me, but he can't see the one on the camera. So, you like the light show? So these lights are from IKEA, and I've had them for like 10 years or some crap. Like insane. Wow. I know. I've had them for like 10 years, and they've been in a box because when I owned my own condo, I bought them for display, and I had them on a shelf, and it was awesome. And then I got married, and we consolidated furniture, and I didn't have a place to put these lights because it didn't fit with the decor, so they sat in a box. So when I moved out of the house into my first apartment, they still sat in a box because I couldn't find a way to put them up on the wall, and I had just, I was in the corner, blah, blah, blah. And so when I was moving, I'm like, oh, I've got to find a place to put the shelf, because my place is smaller than the other one. So I said, what if I make this my stream background? And so these lights, as you can see them under my head, are moving. And they're awesome. And I'm like, they make the perfect stream background. So
yeah, we've got those lights moving. We've got the fire moving.
Mm-hmm. When I move, nice barber.
Uh-huh.
I moved to the Enterprise? Yeah, I know, right?
Oh yeah.
Thank you. I like them too. I am a huge so I think my nickname in another life was probably like Magpie or something, because I love bright, shiny, colorful things. I love them. And I saw anything like Christmas lights and colored lights, and I love them. And so I almost threw these out. I almost did. I had the box of stuff, and I'm like, put it by the door when I was moving, and I'm like, I don't need these. And I had packed up like this whole thing to just take to the dumpster, and I left the box there, and I'm like, I don't know. So yeah, it literally, I just decided to just put them on the moving truck because I didn't have the heart to throw them away. Yeah. And now it was meant to be, right?
And it looks marvelous.
It looks marvelous. So yes, welcome to the new.
You look marvelous.
I may paint in here too, so we'll see, because they told me I can paint.
Ooh. I
just have to turn it. Either I have to paint it a neutral color, or I have to turn it back to a neutral color before I move out.
Mm-hmm. So you could go just get buckets of different colors and then just slap it all over there, make this nice, impressionist painting, or not impressionist, but
yeah,
postmodern, whatever it is. Yeah. Just slap, and then just undo it before you leave.
Sure. I mean, it's like,
That's kind
it's
of
more
cool.
work, but
Yeah.
so yeah.
But think of how much fun you would have.
I know. Well, Pat and the Lady Crane are already thinking about how much fun, because I hate to paint, and they're like, we love to paint. So, like, oh, great. You want to paint my place? They're like, yeah. So, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, sound level's still okay? Still all right?
Excuse me.
And while we're doing that, I asked about the sound levels. Let's check the soundboard. Guys can hear the soundboard? Because I know Marconin can.
Yes.
You should paint the walls like Stormwind.
There you go. Put a big old. That'd be great.
Yes.
Nymph, you cannot tell me not to yawn. I've been up since 5 o'clock, and I have to go back to work tomorrow.
Oh no, you're not off tomorrow?
No, I'll. It's we've in one form or fashion this week we've lost everybody on my team but me, at least temporarily. So I had a monster amount of work to do this week, and
Yeah.
I would still, if I was going to finish today, I'd still be at work. So I had to put a stop to it and get to a stopping point and come back to the house. So I'll be going for a couple hours in the morning.
I turned it down a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a lot quieter on my end.
Chat room, how's that to you guys? I turned it down a little bit.
So I'm just gonna keep yawning. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's a little bit of sound. Okay, is that better? Thanks, 20. There's a sound adjusting that needs to get done because everything got dismantled and everything got put back together, and so we had to rebalance that. So, excellent. You want to back up a little bit? Let's see. How's this one?
And yeah, Nevermore, I think it will. It should fly by tomorrow. I just have to do a couple of smaller things, and with no customers in the building, it can go a lot quicker.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Wait,
got to take things out of the boxes. Put out of the boxes. Put it out on display.
Good.
For all the world to see.
Well, then let me do the ready check for the chat room. Are you guys ready for a show? To hear
Back
all
in
of
the
our
saddle
stories
again.
for 2 weeks of running?
I've got 2 weeks of stories, 14 days worth of content ready to send to through the internet to your ears. I think.
There's a lot of stories to tell.
Stories upon stories.
Tasia's red eye.
Red eye.
Red eye. Ate all the food, Buff. That's no coolness. No coolness. Oh, wait, tacos.
BRB tacos.
BRB tacos. Okay.
Yum.
Yum. I'm so excited. I'm so glad to be back. It is it's so cool to be back.
It really is.
All right, Marconin, are you ready to do a show?
Yes, ma'am. I'm ready.
Yes, Mom.
It's halfway between mum and ma'am.
I know.
Yes,
I was
ma'am.
Yes, Mom.
We could go either way. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Mom. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to do a show.
Let's do a show.
Oh, by the way, did you see Zoe's badge for me? Did you see my Garrus thing?
Yes, I did.
Oh my god, it's so cute. She's going to fix the badge part, the actual badge, so that his name actually shows up on his full leg.
Oh, sweet.
Because the G was cut off. The G was cut off. So
There's Eris.
It was Eris.
Oh, Eris.
He's like flipping cute on the cat tree right now.
Oh yeah, he is.
He's so dog cute. That cat. Okay, all right, let's do this. Where's my soundboard? 3. No, that's not right. 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Tauren Think Tank, the podcast about the Blizzard gamer behind the keyboard.
It's episode 194 of Tauren Think Tank. Today is Thursday, July 14th of 2016. My name is Jules, and we are back again after a very eventful 2 weeks, which we will tell you all about in just a bit. But as always, my partner in crime, Marconin, is also here.
Hello, Jules. Hello, everyone.
I feel like I haven't talked to you in forever.
I know I know you've been very busy the last couple of weeks. So, I mean, we've been being pulled in 7 different directions each. So it can, I know we haven't talked much the last couple of weeks. So yeah, it's definitely good to be back talking with you either way.
I know, right?
Especially with a show.
Like a couple fleeting text messages like, how's this going? And how's this going? And how's this going? And it's like, yeah, I know. I'm good. I'm still alive.
Yeah. I was just checking in,
Mm-hmm. My goodness. Like I was thinking about like what stories I was going to tell on the show because there's so many from the last 2 weeks that I'm just like, oh my God, I don't even know what to do. I've got kind of an idea, but
right.
Fair warning, our dear listeners, it may be a little bit heavy or stacked in the front of the show because, stuff has been going on and I know you guys want to hear about it. So it might not be as short of an intro, but who are we kidding? We always talk long in the beginning anyway, right?
It's what we do.
We talk about what's going on with you guys. We talk about what's going on with us. It's just how we do things on this show.
Yeah.
So tell me what you have been up to in these past 2 weeks since we've last done a show.
Well, I mean, it's been a pretty good it's been an okay couple of weeks, I guess I should say. For the I haven't even told you this. There were about 5 days where I couldn't walk. This last week.
What?
Yeah. My right foot was killing me so much that I woke up Friday morning unable to walk on my right foot.
What happened?
So I don't know. I called in work on Sunday because I was like, I literally cannot walk, and it's my right foot, so I cannot drive.
Yeah.
And so I went to the little clinic that we have here, and they looked at it. They took some X-rays because they thought it was a stress fracture, but they couldn't see anything with the X-rays. But they were like, okay, well, it might just be inflammation. So here's some pain pills. Here's some anti-inflammatories. Just take them as you needed. And that's what I'm guessing it is. It was just hurting. So today is actually the first day that I've been able to walk in a normal stride because I've been like just hobbling around at work all week. And they were like, what are you okay? And then like, oh yeah, I could definitely tell that's why you called in on Sunday, because I hated to, because Sunday's our most important day of the week as far as the work that we have to do. But it's like, I unless you want me to hobble around in a wheelchair or something, which I can't really do with my job, then I cannot be there.
Yeah, your job is very physical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so I actually saved all of the heavy lifting for today, and so that's what I did today at work, was all the heavier stuff. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a lot better, thankfully. Only hurts a little bit now, but yeah, it was quite a fun weekend not being able to go around and catch Pokemon, because it was right after they announced that game, or right after it was released for the US. I couldn't go around playing Pokemon Go, and there's no Pokemon near my house.
Really?
Like none. Okay, I take that back. I caught a Caterpie this evening. It's like one Caterpie, one Rattata. That's the only thing that like spawns in this whole neighborhood.
That sucks.
Yeah, but I've had better luck at work. Some spawn at work, and I've gone around a little. I haven't played a whole lot because, like I said, I haven't been able to walk very well. So I'm just like, are there any within 5 feet? Nope. Okay, maybe later. So yeah, I've been playing a little bit of Pokemon Go, of course, without being mobile. I can't play that much, but
yeah,
but at least I'm feeling better. I'm all better. Like, I didn't make a big deal out of it because I knew it was. You get over it. It was just a little sickness and soreness, but
yeah, but it sucks still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. I hate being immobile. That was the one thing. Is like, I want to go do things. I want to move, but as much as I like sitting in front of my computer and playing video games, I don't want to be forced there, you know.
Yeah, give me the choice to do it, not the absolute, like, I cannot do anything else but.
Mm-hmm. I'd rather just say I'm lazy and don't want to do something than I can't. I like the option. So, yeah, there was that. And thankfully I'm doing better. I saved all of my little movie stubs from the Warcraft movie, all 4 of them.
Yeah.
And I had this idea to get like a Warcraft movie poster, and then frame it and put the stubs beneath it. I was looking around eBay a few days ago, and there was a guy selling a Warcraft movie poster from the movie premiere in LA that was signed by Duncan Jones, Ben Schneitzer, I forgot to pronounce it, Khadgar, Travis Fimmel, Tony Kebbell, and Dean Redmond, who was Varys, and he was also the Frost Wolf that gets like stabbed in the carriage, the one that's trying to attack Garona.
Wow.
Signed by all 5 of those guys for, and there's like pictures to prove it. He's got pictures of them signing it at the release,
Yeah.
and so it's like pretty well vetted that it is authentic, and I bought it for a really good price. That was like
That's
my little
awesome.
present to myself. That's like my one little indulgence to get that. So I've got the frame in. I've got the not the frame, but I've got the picture in the poster, and I'm gonna frame it up and put it on the wall. So I'll be taking care of that at some point soon. That was kind of just the guy was like, yeah, the other one sold for like 10 times more than you paid. And I was like, oh, goodness. And I was waiting for it. I waited till like 20 seconds were left in that auction, and no one else had bid on it at all. So I guess,
You got a really good steal then.
yeah, yeah, I did. And if I can, I may, if they're going to do a movie panel or something where we can actually talk with the actors and actresses from the movie, I may take it with me and get some more signatures on it.
Yeah.
Because it's just, I haven't really bought much I kind of like autographs, but I don't go out on my way to buy them as far as like buy, celebrities or anything like that. But like I said, it was just the idea of having the poster with the movie stubs kind of as a memento of this, because, I don't know if they're going to make a second one or not.
Doesn't look very positive.
No. But, Legendary is doing their own thing, and most of the money came from China. So, if China wants it, they'll get it. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, did that, and got a new mount. I got the Reigns of Galacrass.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I am finally done with Siege of Orgrimmar. Like 3 years after it came out, I am done.
That's
Don't
awesome.
need any more.
Don't send me back.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was like, I told the rest of the 18, I was like, guys, you don't know, because it wasn't just me. Several of us needed the mount from there. For those of you who don't know, it's the Glory of the Orgrimmar Raider achievement mount. And so there were a lot of people in the raid that didn't have the meta, so we were all going through it. But I was like, guys, I know how much we're sick of orcs, and we're sick of Siege of Orgrimmar, because we were sick of it back then, and we're sick of it now. But thank you for your patience, because those last few were really tough.
Yeah, they are.
Especially at level 100, where you're gonna kill anything really quickly and you have to coordinate it. I had to get on my pally tank and just like heal aggro myself on the Garrosh fight to get the strike achievement where you have to kill like 18 of the ads at once. That one took for I was afraid he was going to enrage. It took
no.
Yeah, it was tough. But we got it, and we're happy about it. So we're going to go in there, I think, one more time on Monday to clean up the last bit that everybody needs. I think a few people need the stuff from Paragons. And then we may start doing the 5-man achievements for the Glory of the Draenor hero. So, yeah, a couple things going on with that. I'm looking forward to it because, you know me, another mount is any day I get a mount's a good day. So
it's a mount day.
It's a mount day, mount day.
That's
every
awesome.
day's a mount day. But yeah, I know there's a lot, there's a lot that's been going on with me, but that doesn't even hold a candle to what's been going on with you, especially because we kind of did a thing. Well, I should say about 108 people did a thing to make something happen. Yeah. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh gosh. So you're talking about the Well Played Kickstarter, which
oh yeah, that one.
Yeah. Hindsight being what it is, thinking about it, when we were putting together the Well Played movie meetup and we were meeting on that and we were getting ready for the BlizzCon party planning, and we all had this great idea of why don't we release the Well Played Kickstarter for BlizzCon in conjunction with the Well Played Minnesota Warcraft movie meetup, like announce them on the same day. Mm-hmm. And if I had been smart, I would have realized that the ending of this Kickstarter would have corresponded with around the time that I was going to be planning to move to Minnesota. Because I knew I was planning on doing it. I just didn't know how it was all going to shake out. And let me just tell you something. I'm an idiot.
Oh, don't go that far.
Oh my God, I'm an idiot. Because, man, I don't think I have been that stressed because we were struggling. I'm not afraid to admit it. We were struggling to get to our goal of $10,000 for the Kickstarter goal itself.
Yeah.
And we were working hard. We were doing a lot of streams. We were doing a lot of promotion. We were doing all these things, and it wasn't going anywhere strong. We were getting closer, and I'm looking down the barrel of me about to move, which meant I was going to be out of commission for about 3 or 4 days and not being funded yet. And the stars aligned, and the generosity of others came into play, and suddenly, out of nowhere, we hit our goal with a very large donation. Hit our goal. And I was just floored. I'm like, oh my God, we got it. Oh my gosh. And we had just planned out our stretch goals for the project. We had thought about what we were going to do. And that same day, we got a challenge that if we hit the first stretch goal, which was 10,500, that we would get an automatic guarantee from another one of our backers to get to 12,000 for the second one, like automatically. Woo. So if we got the stretch goal for the 360-degree VR camera, then we would get the photo booth. Okay, great. So we get this. It happens. We're like, all of this happens in one day, and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. I don't have to stress about this when I'm moving. So the Kickstarter ended on Monday. And I had been planning some streams. Things kind of fell through. I had a couple things that we were trying to do, and the people who were going to be involved with it had stuff come up, and so we were kind of scrambling a little bit. John Horstman from the Well Met podcast, amazing guy, such a good friend. He stepped in sick to help us on that Saturday night.
Yep.
It was wonderful. Long story short, Monday comes around. We're kind of eking up towards the top end of 13,000, but we're looking for 15,000 so we can get to the the Hearthstone Fireside Gathering and Tournament. We're getting closer, but we're not getting there. And I'm watching the clock. I'm working this tweet. It's like my first day on the new job. I'm tweeting every hour. I'm watching all these things, and it's just not going. And so the team is sitting in Discord talking with each other and said, well, we did really well, you guys. We exceeded our goals. We didn't hit the third stretch goal. We're okay. And I'm watching it tick down. Because when Kickstarter gets down to the last minute, it actually starts to counter, ticking back down from 60 seconds down to 0. And I'm in Discord with Sal and Evilani, and it's me and then the other team, but they are not present at the time. And all of a sudden, Eve goes, "Oh my God, we hit 15,000!" It was 45 seconds away from closing. And we hit $15,000 and won.
Yeah, I saw the one. I was like, holy cow.
So, I mean, and it was Eric, aka 112, a good friend of ours, a good friend of the show. He was watching that sucker at the very last minute to see that we were going to, and he was ready, and his donation put us at the 15,001. So we hit every stretch goal that we put out, and I'm floored. Like, I was in tears. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. So we have an amazing base for this party. And I am so excited, and I've been working hard the last couple days to even just kind of get the process started with the Kickstarter fulfillment and all those things. So we're working on all of that. So yeah, it's been a really eventful thing. And then in the top of that, a week ago today, I moved into my new apartment, which I am now sitting in my new stream background with my lights from IKEA behind me, which the stream is loving because they're like moving, and it's just awesome. But let me just tell you a couple stories about the move. So I think I told you guys that I was planning on moving the cats first because I think that was the best thing for me to do. And I was stressed about it. Marconin knew this. I have been stressed about this process because I know how bad Spike is in the car. And so I did everything a good cat mom can do. I went to the doctor. I went to the vet. I got a sedative for him. They gave him Xanax.
Wow.
They tell me to give him the Xanax an hour before travel. And luckily for me, as long as I hide it in food, he will, like a little bit of food, he'll just eat a pill. So it's great, you know? So I didn't have any worries about him taking the pill. I said, okay, I know he gets stressed out about being in the carrier, so I will take him out into the car in the carrier, but I will let him out in the car. And I had everything planned out. I lined all of the floors, all of the seats with newspaper. I got some of those pee pads and I put them on top of that. And I'm like, so I was prepared. What I wasn't prepared for
Uh-oh.
was that this cat has never vomited, ever. And stupid me thought it would be a good idea to feed him before we left.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So 20 minutes into the car ride, he's loose in the car in the bag. He throws up in the floor. And so I'm like, okay, he got most of it. He did get some of the rug, but, you know, it's mostly covered. And so he's behind me in the car, and I'm reaching behind me to pet him because he's crying. He's cry.
Yeah.
So I'm petting him. And then the smell that was not vomit hits me.
Oh.
And he had jumped up on the back seat, and he had pooped thank God, on the pee pad. But it was the worst thing I'd ever smelled in my life.
Oh, yeah. No litter to clean it up.
No litter to clean it up.
Oh,
so
man.
here I am reaching behind me. I'm reaching behind me to take the pee pad and try to fold it over so that I don't have to smell this. Now, this is 20 minutes in of a 4-hour drive.
Are you still driving at this point?
Oh, I'm still driving. I'm still driving.
You're trying to origami a pooped on pad while driving.
Yes. So
Man.
because you don't know this smell, Marconin.
Oh, I have had cats poop very close in my proximity without cat litter. I am.
Ooh.
And you were right. It, you know, if it wasn't a moving vehicle, I would be out of it.
Right.
It's like I got to go somewhere. Something's got to happen.
So the poor cat now vomits 2 more times.
Oh, poor kitty.
And then he poops another time. And so, oh my God. So this poor cat is covered in vomit and feces.
Oh, man.
And what am I going to do? I've got 4 hours with him in the car. So he jumps, he's so upset that he's drooling and panting. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So he jumps up on the console next to me, between the 2 seats. And he's just sitting there. And so I can pet him. And then he goes from the console across my lap. Is laying across my lap through the entire thing. He was on my lap for about 3 hours. Again, this cat smells like vomit and poop.
Oh, man.
But he's drooling and panting, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. I just went into Zen mode. I'm like, I am just going to take care of this baby and just make sure he's okay. And he's just leaning. The sedative did nothing. Like, he was just so so freaked out. But he sat on my lap, and he was there for it. He put his head on my arm, and I petted him, and I'm like, we're just gonna get here. We're gonna get here. The property manager was awesome. I called her on the way, and she said, I'm gonna meet you at the apartment. She got me in. I literally ran up the stairs with this cat and put him in the bathroom because there was nowhere else to put him.
Yeah.
And then I look at the damage of him. I look at him, and I'm like, I have nothing to clean you up. Like, I have nothing.
No. Oh, no.
So I had to put this poor cat in the bathroom and go drive over to Target to get wet wipes and paper towels and all this stuff so I could clean him up because he was covered in stuff. It was awful. And so I felt so bad for this kitty. Like, oh my God. So we cleaned him. I got back. I cleaned him up. He hated me for it. And ever since then, he's just been like, do. Like, he's just all great. He just turns into like Psycho Kitty when he's in the car.
Yeah.
4-hour drive. And smelling poop and vomit in my car. And Garrus, not a peep. He's in the carrier the whole time. Never heard him. He just sat in there. I mean, he's scared, but he doesn't make a noise. He doesn't go anywhere. He doesn't poop or pee or or vomit. And I'm like,
He was just like, all right, let's get this over with.
oh. So Marconin texts me and he goes, "How did it go?" And I said, I'm on the road.
Yeah.
How's it going?" And I said, "Well, we've got 2 of the 3 P's." But what are
Oh,
you gonna
no.
do? Like, what are you gonna
Yeah.
do? And so I just was like, all right, I just gotta get here. I just gotta get here. So that was my experience. If I had done that on moving day, I don't know if I would have. I don't know if I would have been as good in, like mental state because
Yeah.
the moving part itself was stressful, but then having to manage them too. Oh,
Yeah, I think
so.
you definitely did the right thing by bringing him up early.
Yeah. I mean, they were freaked out enough by the movers coming in with the stuff. And so, but they just sat in the bathroom and just cowered, and that was fine. They
Hmm.
were out of the way. So yeah, the move itself was a whole lot less eventful, except my poor movers got pulled over by the state police
Uh-oh.
because the driver picked up his phone to call base and tell them that they were leaving just to head to Minnesota. And the state trooper in Madison, there's a state law, or there's a city law, I think it is. I don't know if it's state law, but that you cannot drive and hold a cell phone up to your ear. Like
Really?
you cannot.
So only hands-free.
Hands free only. And so
Okay.
they saw him, and so I was up here way before they were, and I'm like, where's my movers? They finally show up, and they're like, yeah, we got pulled over and had to wait 20 minutes for the state trooper to be nice to us and let us go.
Wow.
So yeah, it was something. So
That's quite a tale.
I know. So when I got here on Tuesday, and there was a massive storm here
Oh, yeah.
in Minnesota, and like trees down and flooding and all that stuff, and I'm like, boy, is this how it's all gonna start? Like,
Welcome to Minnesota.
I know. So I'm completely adjusting. I don't know where anything is. I'm figuring it all out, exploring, figuring out where things are. But Minneapolis is a really cool city. There's a lot to do, a lot to see. And I mean, I feel like a stranger in my own skin right now. That's
Yeah.
kind of how it is right now, because I just don't, like, everything's different, you know? My birthday was on Tuesday. I got older on Tuesday. Tomorrow is divorce day. I don't
D-Day.
have to drive back to Madison. Thank God I can appear by phone. But
Well, that's good.
but I can, so at least I don't have to drive, 8 hours to do a 15-minute hearing. But
Yeah.
so tomorrow
Be a
is
long
divorce
day.
day. And yeah, it would be a really long day. And so then I got to go around and change my name and re-register everything, my driver's license and my car and all that stuff. And so
Yeah.
I'm like, everything is different.
Well, I mean, you said, this year you'll have a new place, a new name,
Yeah.
a new job.
New job. Yes. I mean, it got to the job. So poor Pat, I love him so much. He's such a good friend and he's awesome. He's just been having such a tough time with this studio remodel, and it does not seem to get better. So we're still adjusting. Like, for the last couple days, I've worked from home just because he's pulling wires out of walls that were supposed to be in walls.
Yeah.
Things aren't working right. And it's just stupid. So we're both adjusting to the fact that, so I've got plenty to do. Like, I have been working on the Kickstarter for Well Played like crazy, and all the other stuff that I've been doing, which is fine. But it's like everything is in flux. And so, a couple days where I just had those moments of anxiety, like, who the F am I? Like, where the F am I? Like,
What is this life?
what is this life I'm leading right now? It's just weird. And, but I have great friends, and nothing of that front has changed. I'm still me, but everything around me just feels kind of weird. So, I was really looking forward to tonight, because I'm like, oh, it's so nice to come back to something familiar.
Exactly, yeah.
Something we've done for 4 years now. And so yeah, it's been a really eventful couple of weeks. I'm sure I'm missing a ton of stuff. I may come up with more stories as we go through the show, But, like I said, top heavy show
Yeah.
for stuff going on with us.
Oh
And
yeah. When you were talking about Minnesota, that reminded me. On Tuesday night, I went to the local theater for the encore performance of Riff Tracks and MST3K
oh,
live.
yeah. You saw
That
that
was
ad when we were at the movie.
yeah, and I didn't get to go to it when they streamed it live from Minneapolis, but I was like, well, I've got to go on Tuesday, and I went and saw it, and it was like 2 hours of me laughing till I cried. I have not seen Mystery Science Theater 3000 or Riff Tracks in years, just because I just don't think about it sometimes, and just to see them do it on stage, and a lot of the old clips they would re-show again and again. It put me in a really happy place, which I needed because my foot was still really hurting at that point.
Yeah.
So, and it was fantastic to do that, and it took me back to when I was up in Minneapolis for that weekend, because all the people with their regional talk and everything. It was really cool. So yeah, when you're talking about Minneapolis, it reminded me of that. So
Yeah.
had to do that.
I think I'm really going to like it here.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's a lot of change in a short amount of time, so I'm getting used to it.
Yeah.
And there's so many people that have just been messaging me and saying, when you get settled and want to hang out and want to do this, and I'm like, that's awesome. I just need to figure out my crap. Like, I just figure myself out right now. So, yeah.
They can help you get a lay of the land, that's for sure.
That's true. And I got to say, Pat and his wife, the Lady Crane, they are invaluable resources. They're so great. Like, they've driven me around, showed me, where I live, where things are. It's really, really cool. So I've been finding my way, and thank God for Google Maps. So
Oh yeah, an invaluable resource.
Terry, like, I don't know, I don't even know how we did it without it. So, all right, let's do a show, and we start with our discussion topic. Here we go.
Let's kick around some ideas, not gnomes. I think it's worse. I think it's worse when we wait 2 weeks to do another show, because he has a chance to heal up completely before we kick him in the pants again. After 1 week, his hindquarters are still numb, so he doesn't quite feel it as bad. But after 2 weeks, man, it's just that poor gnome.
His tushy hurts. We have a Nightbot.
My tushy.
My tushy hurts. We have a Nightbot command for the gnome, and every time it's that poor gnome.
Yeah.
The chat room always knows to trigger it. It's awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
Let's get serious about a question that was sent to us. This comes from Solovala, and she says, Hey, Mukuru, I have a situation I'd like to share with you guys. For the past 6 years, I've lived in an apartment owned by my parents. I paid them rent, but at a lower rate than what is normal for the area and apartment size. They did this to help me financially, since I took some big loans to invest in a business. This has helped me a lot, and now I managed to downpay all of my loans my colleagues in similar situations are stuck with for 15 to 20 years, just to put it into some perspective. I'm forever grateful to my parents for their help, support, and for believing in me enough to risk their own economy for my sake. It's been hard work, and I'm proud of what I managed to do so far. I still need to work my butt off to make my business work, but I love it, and I wouldn't trade it for anything else. One of the deals I made with my parents was to make sure the apartment was in good shape after I moved out. After 6 years, normal wear and tear is to be expected. I spent the last 3 or 4 weeks after I moved out doing the best I could at fixing the place. I've cleaned, I've painted, I hired a plumber, I've had friends come help me sand and oil the floors. I've spent quite a lot of money and even canceled an already booked and prepaid week's vacation to get this all ready within the time frame I got. I've told my dad that I'm not an expert on any of these things, but he reassured me over the phone that I should just do the best I can, as they were going to sell the apartment anyway. Needless to say, these past few weeks really, really stressed me out, but in the end, I thought it turned out looking pretty decent. My dad came over to, quote unquote, inspect the place, and as they live a 6-hour drive away from here, he gets here while I'm at work. When I see him in the afternoon, I ask him what he thinks. He bluntly tells me it wasn't good enough. The walls and the floors weren't how he wanted them to be, so he already arranged a painter and a carpenter to redo the walls and to put down brand new floors. He was quite happy with himself, though, for managing to get all this sorted in just a couple of hours. My first response was asking him if all that work I'd done in the past few weeks were for nothing then. All the time and money were a waste, and my friend's time spent was a waste? Well, that's just how it is all I got. There were no thank yous or any kind of appreciation of the time and effort I made to fix the place, other than him saying later in the evening that I cleaned the bathroom nicely. Am I being overly sensitive here? Should I not just be happy for what they've done for me and let this go? I find it annoying as crap that I do let it get to me and that I, at age 34, still strive for my dad's approval. Because to be honest, the money and time spent I don't really mind as much, but the fact that I'm not good enough still hits hard. Should I tell them how hurtful it was to be told that at least I'm good at scrubbing toilets? I've considered telling my mom what happened just to get it off my chest. She tends to be more empathetic, and could give Dad an old wifey slap in the back head. What do I have to gain, really, if doing so? If I know myself correctly, I'll be annoyed and upset about this for a while until it eventually fades out. Adore your show. Keep at it. You're amazing. From Love, Solovala from Silver Moon EU.
Well, thank you for the letter, Solovala.
Thank you. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So this looks like a classic case of saying one thing and doing another.
Yeah.
From parents.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of those things. I think it's kind of you should have read my mind, but you didn't, as far as it not being good enough. And I was going to say something about here. Where was it? Yeah, when you said that, but the fact that I'm not good enough still hits hard. It's not that you're not good enough. It's just that the job that you didn't live up to his preconceived notions of what it should look like.
Yeah.
Because no amount of sanding or redoing the floors will put it back to the way he wanted it. So for him to go ahead and do all this extra stuff, that's just him, seeing the expectations differently than you did, or seeing what he wants it to be. Yeah,
it's a situation where she's in a no-win situation.
Mm-hmm.
She really is, because there's two. I see two perspectives of it. Number one, she did all this work to improve what it was that was there.
Yeah.
And he had no problem with saying, we need to redo the floors, we need to repaint this place. And it was literally like, why couldn't he have told her that was permissible, that he would have paid for it anyway? That's the problem, is that she went to all of this work, all of this stress, wanting to make this happen, and he already had it in his head that this was an acceptable outcome to pay someone to remodel, basically.
Yeah. And I think it is sucky that you spent all this time and energy and money, but and I know you had some friends to help you with it, but and I'm kind of in a similar. I have a similar way of thinking. I want to go through all the trouble of helping somebody and really go the extra mile when I've got a project like this that I need to do. Mm-hmm. And then for someone to just say, well, nice job, but it's not good enough. It does deflate you a whole lot. It takes out your confidence in what you did. But, I know we were talking a while back about parents and their children, that you get to this point where they're not your children and they're not your adults. They're contemporaries as adults.
Yeah.
And I think I think her father has gotten to that point, so that it's not just, this is just another, this is another tenant of mine. This is not my child. This is another tenant that cleaned it up. But, and it's possible that they may own other properties as well, maybe, because I know if you have more apartments than that, you're used to cleaning up other people's messes, after they move out, because not a lot of people go to all the trouble that you did to clean it up, but it's still not up to his standards. And it's not your fault for not knowing his standards ahead of time.
Yeah.
I mean, there might have been a thing to get on Skype with them or something, or be like, okay, what do you think about, here, I'll text you a picture. What else do you think I need to do with this? Do you have any tips? But that's all water under the bridge now. So I don't think you should really blame yourself or be too hard on yourself for it. I wouldn't say you're being maybe a shade overly sensitive, because it is what it is, and You know, the dad didn't like it, but what can you do? I mean, like you said, you're not an expert in this and you did your best. And you can take confidence in still doing your best because it lived up to your standards, which were pretty good because you worked so hard on it.
Yeah.
But, it was something that, due to your lack of expertise in carpentry and plumbing and all this stuff, it wasn't up to your dad's expectations. And that's okay because they did kind of bend over backwards for you to give you this situation.
Yeah.
And I know you were kind of repaying that by working so hard to make the place look nice. And it can kind of feel like they threw the gift back in your face by not saying it's good enough, but they're going to sell it. So they're thinking of it in a business sense. They want it to be like showroom ready. They want it to be pristine. And so that's why they called them professionals. Could they have communicated that earlier, that that's a possibility? Yeah. But who's to say he went in thinking that already? You know? We don't know. I've been talking for a while, Jules. What do you think?
Well, and I'm going to come at this from a perspective of dad and daughter, because I think that's kind of what there's a lot of that here.
Yeah.
And and dad, if you're listening, this is not going to be a slam on my dad or anything like that. I'm going to talk about this from my perspective as trying to be a capable adult and working with your father, because I have a father who is a very high achiever, and he's always been a high achiever. And so he's always expected that of me, of being, and he is one of the handiest men I've ever met. He was working in construction. He's put ceiling fans into people's places. He's done wiring and, demolishing and all of that stuff, demolition.
Yeah.
So, but like my brain doesn't give two craps about how to wire an outlet. And he showed me, and he tried to show me, and he's tried to show me a lot of things a lot of times, and I'm just like, automobile, whatever, it doesn't register. And I know that that's kind of a frustrating thing, because he wants me to be a capable adult and know how to do these things. I have a feeling that Solovala has those same kind of things, where she's like, my dad really wants me to follow in some of those footsteps of me being a good property owner who can maintain a property that is rented and that kind of thing, and be able to know right away not only what is acceptable for a rental property's look for a new tenant, but also to know how to fix it or what to do to be able to achieve it. And so she's in a position where she's like, I don't know any of these things, and he told me to do the best I could, so I think I really did a good job. I went out of my way, I spent money, made time and effort to try to do that, and he basically swooped in and just said, not good enough.
Yeah.
Without telling her that. So I get it. I get the feeling of just being like, well, what did I even bother? Why did I even bother doing any of this if you were just going to swoop in and tell me it wasn't good enough? If you could have just told me what your expectations were, and then we could have discussed whether or not this is something I can achieve, But I feel like he kind of set her up to fail, because he comes in there and just says, not acknowledging, oh, honey, I know you probably really tried to do this. What I would have thought you would have done. Like, my dad would do this. My dad would say, what I thought you would have done was this. And he would have told me how to follow his train of thinking. And I would be like, well, I never thought of that. That did not occur to me. And because I don't think like you do. But we at least can talk about that. And this feels more just like brush off. Go on your way, just shoo, little one, and I'm going to go fix it now. I'll take care of it.
Yeah. Get out of here, I'll take care of it.
Right. Instead of making her feel like her efforts were at least recognized, that she tried. So I get it. I get where she's coming from here, and I think that there's, so then what do you do? How do you handle it? Obviously, the thing I would recommend is to sit down with him and have a conversation and say, I really wanted you to be proud of the work I did, and you weren't, and I want to know why that. I want to talk about that, because it's It just seems like I would never have been able to live up to those expectations, and that bothers me.
Yeah.
And I don't know, he may be the kind of man who doesn't like to talk about those kinds of things. It's not, and she's talking about maybe telling her mom and having her mom give him a swift swack up the head, because maybe he's just, what she's saying basically is he's just being a man and doesn't understand emotion. That's what she's saying. If she's appealing to mom.
Yeah.
And so you may never ever have your father understand you as a woman. It may not happen, but at least you can say that you tried.
Yeah. I mean, and you obviously were proud of your work because you worked so hard at it. But like, you're darned if you do, darned if you don't, because you don't want to leave it in such disarray for your dad to go in and clean it up. So you wanted to do a good job and you wanted to work hard. But
yeah, I mean, I think that's a really good point, actually, to say the last thing in the world I wanted is for you to drive 6 hours and come in and think I didn't do crap.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think it's that dire, because he did say that you cleaned up the bathroom nicely. And that might have been his way to try and apologize for what he did by giving a compliment later on after thinking about it. But if that's the case, then at least he thought about it. At least he thought about it and thought that he had kind of come in pretty strong about it.
Yeah. But saying, it's not good enough, that's deflating. That's rejection. That's awful. Like, what can you do to make that better other than sit there and feel like a failure?
Well, I mean, like you said, just kind of sit down with him and explain your feelings with it. And you're like, I know I didn't come up to your expectations, but, just try and let him know how that made you feel. And just ask him, let him talk for a bit and try to get him to open up about it a little bit.
Yeah.
It may not be a big deal for him. It may just be like, well, I didn't think it was ready to sell. I thought, because we got to sell the property. So I wanted to make sure it was his best. I probably should have told you earlier that, that was a contingency plan for me to order all these carpenters and people to come in and fix it. So I guess I could have done that, but it's all hypothetical anyway.
I mean, it's the same thing as a situation at work where you work really hard on a project and your boss just says, nope, it's not good enough. And they swoop in and they take over. And you're like, well, nobody told me what they were expecting me to do. And, it's as simple as her dad being able to say to her, what I would have expected from you is this, even though he said, do the best you can.
Mm-hmm.
Do the best you can is no guidance. It's just, figure it out. So she went ahead and figured it out to her ability, but it didn't match up to his expectations. That's all about communication and saying, where did I fall short in your mind, so that I can learn from that in the future, instead of him just swooping in and fixing it. How could that have been avoided? Would that have been a phone call, a FaceTime, communication to say, these are what the floors look like. What do you think? And, or these are how I've left the walls. I've gotten to this point. I've done this and this and this. Because him coming in and just fixing it all teaches her nothing.
Yeah,
except that she's not capable.
Yeah, and it should have been a learning thing from the get-go. Kind of like you were saying with calling, giving your dad some status reports. Be like, hey, Dad, here's what the floors look like. What do you think? And how can I, if it isn't good enough, like, what would you suggest? What kind of stain would you, what kind of color stain would you like? What kind of this could I do? What can I do to help you? I need specifics. I don't need just do the best you can. That tells me nothing. I need to know what you're expecting. Yeah.
So like, here's this, and I don't know, I'm projecting a little bit, but this is what happens with me. And my sister, my sister is very much the opposite of me. Whereas my dad and I can sit down and talk about something like, the whole situation with the cats. My dad's like, I really think you should put newspaper down. I was just going to put the pee pads down. And he said, I really think you should put newspaper down on the floors as well, because I think it'll, a double layer will help you. And it turned out to be a really good idea. And I said, that's good. I'm glad you said that. If it were my sister, and my father had said to her, I think you should put down the newspaper, she would have done the exact opposite of what he told her, because she doesn't want to feel like he's right. It's bothersome to her
And it's strange.
well, the reason behind it is that she does not want to feel inferior to the ideas that my father has. And so she gets to the point where she's just like, she'll do the opposite just to say, I did it myself. And I don't, at least I did what I thought was right. And, it's counterintuitive. It makes no sense to me.
Because sometimes you need to battle experience. And someone
She
who's...
has a major problem with that. She has a big problem with that. So
Okay.
that's the difference between the two of us. And so, for Solo Vala, I don't know if she has that kind of relationship where she can have a conversation with her dad and say, yeah, I'm thinking about doing this. And he goes, well, I really do think from my experience that you should also, or you should otherwise, or you should consider, or, because he knows he's been down the road or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
If he doesn't do that, then it's a moot point. But, is it a situation where he's just not communicating, or he is communicating, but you may not be as receptive to it because it's not something that you want to hear? Like I said, I'm projecting.
Possible.
I'm projecting because I've seen it before. I hate to say this, but my sister would rather fail than accept my dad's advice sometimes, which is awful. And I don't understand it. It's counterintuitive. It doesn't make sense to me. But she would not, she would prefer to not be told she was wrong. And, or I told you so.
She'd rather fail by herself than succeed with someone else's help.
Yeah.
Man.
It's an interesting thing, isn't it?
It is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
It's, it's a resistance to my dad specifically. And I don't understand it. I've never really truly understood it because, it's just been, she's had that her entire life. So I'm wondering if there is some of that may be in the situation. And I don't know. I don't know Solovala, and I don't know what the situation is, but it's just something to think about.
Yeah.
Lauren G. Apps in the chat room says she has a cousin that acts like that.
Yeah. And I mean, this is also something to think about if, just everyone else out there, if they have that kind of similar situation with their parents or family or any kind of relationship like that, to kind of think of how you handle advice from people older or more experienced than you. I mean, respect your elders and listen to them. People are, I've heard that, respect your elders, and that doesn't mean just, yes, you're older than me. Yes, I respect, but listen to their sage advice sometimes. You don't have to go with it. Mm-hmm. You don't have to, but at least listen just to get their point of view, and then you kind of go from there. Because if you listen to their experience, I'm kind of broadening it out past the letter, but you can kind of take that little piece out and just listen to them.
Yeah, it's an interesting scenario. So, her question is, should I tell them how hurtful it was to be told I'm at least good at scrubbing toilet? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can definitely talk to them about it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't. It's not worth getting all, just blow it out of proportions or anything with it, because it was, to your dad, it may be a small thing. It may be like, well, it's all right. We're fixing the house up or the apartment up. We're good to go. I still love you. Everything's he may not have a problem with it. He may not even think you've done anything wrong. So there's not that you definitely need to talk to him about it.
Yeah.
Just to let him know how you feel. And, what could I have done better? What could we do differently? Or, how should I approach things in the future if we ever get to do anything? Should I ask you first or send you pictures? Like Navox in the chat room says, don't do the whole should I tell them should I tell them how good I am at scrubbing toilets sounds like a dig. So maybe not directly quote that line, but approach it in a diplomatic sense.
No, I mean the point that she was making is saying, my dad. The only compliment my dad gave me was that I was good at cleaning the bathroom.
Yeah.
And that's, to her, she's like, well, that was so minimal compared to all the other things that I did, and that's the only thing that you could compliment me on. So, and it's about, some people just don't know how to give praise. Look back at your relationship with your father in the past. Has he ever been someone who has said, I'm proud of you. I want you, I want you to know I love you, and that, the things that I'm proud of the things that you've accomplished. I'm really glad that you've become a capable adult, building your own business. Have they ever said those things to you? Because I think this may be a symptom of a very larger issue, which is that
Hmm.
you've always felt like they don't approve, or that you've always sought his approval but never been told and in that. So yeah, I feel like that's the situation there. You could talk to your mom, but it doesn't do you any good to actually have the conversation with your dad. And if you go by a third party, then your words get twisted no matter what you do.
Yeah, it's much better to go directly than to kind of use your mother as a mediator
Mm-hmm.
or as a interpreter between the two of you. Yeah, just I mean, sit them both down if you have to, but not a.
Or just,
I would
sometimes you need a vent session. Who doesn't? But,
sure, yeah,
mom, this really bothered me about dad. And, I don't know how she would react because I don't know your mom, but.
yeah. I mean, it's you got a couple ways you can go with it,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I wouldn't take it so seriously as a dig or anything like that because like I said, your dad may not even think he said anything wrong, or
Mm-hmm.
it may not be blown out of proportion for him. So I
Yeah,
mean, you did
absolutely.
you did a great job. I know you did because you worked really hard and you were sincere about it.
Mm-hmm.
So you should be proud that you did a good job
Mm-hmm.
and not be so consumed with, well, it wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah, yeah. And this is, talking about it, you'll be annoyed and upset for a while before it eventually fades out. It doesn't address the problem then. It doesn't address the issue. It's going to happen again. So you have to at least say that you've tried. And then if it doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't go the direction that you want to, at least you can say, I've attempted to communicate about my feelings of the situation, and at least they're known now.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
the chances are most likely, and I think she is from Denmark. She said she is from the EU, and but there's just there's possibility that your father was just not raised with a lot of emotional discussion.
Yeah.
And that he doesn't know how to communicate. I feel this when you do this, that kind of thing. So it's just, and there are differences between men and women and generations. So
Yeah.
these days when, you're looking at a father who is just trying to, live his life and give his daughter the best raising he can. And then, but her situation is like, I'm feeling feelings of inadequacy and I want to talk to you about them so you don't do that to me again.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
So,
he's like Navok says in the chat room, feelings, rub some dirt on it.
or walk it off,
Yeah.
So
Suck it up, cupcake.
yeah, and so sometimes it's about understanding where
Yeah.
the other party's coming from too. It's tough. It's tough. So if this is how you feel, it's going to eat at you until you do say something. Say something. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. So,
Definitely.
anything else you want to add to that before we move on?
Oh, not that I can think of. Just best of luck to you in the future, Solovala, and thank you for listening and especially for writing in.
Absolutely.
And best of luck with your folks too. Let us know how it goes.
Definitely. All right. It's time for us to move into the think tank question. Think tank time. Here we go.
Tauren between options? Let Triple T help you sort it out.
And it's think tank time. Here we go with our question, the second question of the night.
Mm-hmm.
And this comes from Jared. Jared says, my name is Jared and I've written to your show before. I'm happy to say I'm in a much better place than where I was when I first wrote to you. I used to be quite unhappy in my skin and very unhappy with my appearance. I do still know that I need to start eating better to lose some body fat, and doing so will make me look better. But I'm capable of liking myself and even seeing that as I currently exist, I'm already fine looking. So I'm not a fan of being chubby, but I no longer hate myself or want to hurt or even kill myself because of it. And in life in general, it's very positive from where I've been in the past. So there's one issue. I'm 18 and I've never really cooked for myself, bought groceries or anything like that. I know that diet is a huge part of a healthy weight and lifestyle. I need to learn how to do these things and start doing them. Currently, I see exercising as a less daunting task, something many people see as harder. In fact, I already do it and go for runs 3 days a week. Unfortunately, that is less. People like Pat Crane even have lost weight and have been unhealthy on diet alone. A daunting thought in my mind recently, though, is I feel like I'm unsure as to where I am going with my life and my future. That I'm supposed to have more things planned out than I already do. Even though I'm only 18, 19 in August, and doing positive things like going to college for an associate's degree, working part-time at my family's restaurant, and I took a class at a fairly known board repair person's shop. I feel like I haven't planned well enough, or that I'm not as far ahead in life progression as I should be. Getting a full-time job, moving out from my parents, what am I doing after college? Where should I be at my age, and what can I do in general to keep on a good track, whether I am on track or not? And that's from Jared.
All righty.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, you seem to be doing pretty well for yourself at this age. Doing better than I was at 18.
Yeah, no
18.
Going on
Yeah.
19. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you're doing pretty well. I mean, you're going to get some schooling. That's great. You're working. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and you're learning some skills. So, I mean, that's really, I mean, that's kind of the way it is from here on out. I mean, learning, you always want to be learning something, it's good for the brain. Mm-hmm. And, studies show, that you always want to be learning. And so, I mean, you're doing pretty well for yourself at this age. I know the world is very big and daunting and scary. It still is at 33. So, I mean,
still is at 42.
So yeah, I mean, it's something that's going to be like that. You're never going to be sure of your next move 100%. I mean, as far as, where do you go from here? Am I fulfilling all of the things that I should be? Well, are you happy with where you are in life? Are you happy with yourself and the people around you? And are you enjoying life? If you answered yes to most, if not all those things, then you're on the right track. Mm-hmm. Because life is not where you work. It is not, how much you sleep. It's not what I had for dinner last night. It's the people and the experiences and what you do in life that matters. It's how you affect those around you. It's not what you do, but it's how you do it.
Yeah.
And I was talking to a coworker earlier today, and I just said, it said something about life in general. It's like, well, I'm trying to leave it better than I found it, and it's just as simple as that, and that you could go down the way deep philosophical deep end about, how do I make life better? How is the, and you can go way and far into that. But are you enjoying your life? It seems like you're making progress. You're working on, trying to keep your diet in check. You're taking these first steps and just keep following through with them. You're doing a great job. Yeah. And as far as not knowing how to cook, there are ways to kind of eat healthier on budgets and stuff. Cook large meals, like if you cook a large meal on the weekend and then box it up in smaller meals for the week. Yeah, you change it up every week or make two separate meals. Like you could do, a chicken salad, or and then do a hamburger, steak, and vegetables for the other one, and alternate days. Just Tupperware. That's a little tip for you for all that. I know I'm kind of jumping all around the letter here, but it's all hitting me in kind of different areas. Mm-hmm. So, what do you think, Jules?
It's hard. It's so hard when you're young, and it's hard when you're older, because there's this feeling in your life that you should know exactly where your path should be at all times. And I mean, I can't even describe to you what it feels like to have your life completely change in the matter of 7 months, because that's what's happened to me. Mm-hmm. Nothing is the same, as I've talked about. I mean, there are things that are the same, but nothing of my life since Thanksgiving night of 2015 is the same, except for the fact that I still do this show and I still have awesome friends, and I have my cats, and I'm still me. Mm-hmm. But the tangible stuff, the stuff that surrounds me, has all changed. And so the reason that I say all this is because, at 18 years old, would I have seen where I am now? Absolutely not. Would I have seen what I do now 5 years ago? Absolutely not. Would Marconin say the same? Absolutely yes.
Yeah, I agree.
And so
completely.
The thing about life is that if you get too bogged down in the details of what you should be doing, then you miss what you want to be doing. And you miss what's around you. And I think that there's a lot of that happens in, there's two sides of this. There's the one side that there's the, I'm 18 and I don't give a flying F, I don't care. I'm just going to be free and do whatever I want. And I don't think, I actually give you a lot of credit because you're just saying, I want to be a responsible adult because you're on the road to becoming an adult. You are an adult.
Yeah.
But you're not an adult yet. You're just transitioning. You're in that transition point. So you know that you want to do these things. You know you want to earn a living. You know you want an education. And you know that you want to figure out what you want to do with this life. You're giving yourself the foundation. So, and that's what Marconin did. That's what I did. When we got done with high school, we went to college.
Mm-hmm.
We went to college and we learned and we worked. Because I worked during college, you worked during college.
Yeah.
And
I did.
Yeah. And so, but did you know a damn thing when you were in college? Like, did you know a damn thing about life?
Thought I did.
You thought you did.
Thought I did. Pretended like I did at times,
Yeah.
but no. It was mostly fly by the seat of your pants and hope for the best.
Mm-hmm.
Hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
Yeah. So let's think about that. You go to high school, or you go to school and you go to high school and they tell you you're supposed to go to college. And so you say, okay, so my goal now is to graduate high school so that I make decent enough grades that I could be in college and be in a decent educational system. So that's what you do. And then, hey, your parents also teach you that you should be earning money for yourself so that you learn how to support yourself, at least for your own spending money. If you want a car, then you got to work to get the gas, or you want to work to buy the car. There's negotiations, things. Like when I went to college, I didn't have a car because I couldn't afford it, and I went to a college where everybody was rich and their parents all bought them cars. And so I spent 4 years without I didn't buy my first car until I was out of school. So and so you go to school and you go out on your own for the first time, and sometimes you live on campus, or maybe you've just gotten all those things there, but then now you're learning how to study and it's harder and the stakes are higher and all that stuff, but you still don't know how to be an adult.
Yeah.
Because somebody else is paying for your college, or someone else is got your back. It's until you actually sign a lease on an apartment or buy a car or something like that when it's now just you. Your credit card debt is yours. You're transitioning, and it's okay. It's okay. And you're not going to know what it is that you want. It's just not going to happen. So you just got to figure out what's okay for right now. And what's not. Like, hey, he's working part-time at his parents' restaurant. There's either probably two things going on. It's like, hey, I really like this and I'd like to take over for my parents someday. Or there's I do not want this life in the future. Yeah. You can probably clearly state, I think this is what I want, or I know this isn't what I want. I think you could probably say that.
Mm-hmm. And it's okay either way because, my grandparents own a used car lot. My granddad's a used car salesman.
Yeah.
And a really, really good and honest one. And my grandmother did she would sell antique furniture, restore furniture, and I worked with him and I did all that. I helped clean the car, wash the cars. I would restore the furniture with stuff, and I would haul stuff out for flea markets and all this stuff. And I enjoyed the work, but I knew that it was, selling cars probably wasn't going to be in my future, and that's okay because I learned from my grandparents. And that's one thing I wanted to address earlier when you said that you don't, you haven't really cooked for yourself, bought groceries, any of those life skills. Now is a good time to ask your folks, ask your family, like, hey, can you when you go buy groceries, what do you think? Or can you show me how to cook that? And like take pictures of it, write stuff down, just ask questions and learn from them. Because I know we're learning from your family and your elders is good, especially at this point in time, because you've shown some initiative because you're going to college, you're working, and your folks can see that. Lean on them for information for some of these ideas for life skills.
Yeah, I mean the family owns a restaurant, so at least probably somebody knows how to cook. Most likely, or they have an employee who can teach you. The basics behind it, and just ask. If not, if you're too afraid to ask, that's okay. There's YouTube, there's Pinterest, there's so much out there to help you learn. I mean, even Twitch Creative, you can go watch Twitch Creative and watch people cook on there. I learned a lot of things about cooking from watching the Food Network.
Yeah, that's true. I did too.
Right. I mean, I've watched, the shows, or not even like the cooking shows necessarily, but like the competition shows, and the stuff like that you find, like the reality stuff. I mean, find what interests you. But the resources are out there. I guess my main message of this whole thing is don't be so afraid of what your life should be that you're afraid to live the life you have.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a lesson that isn't just pertinent at 18, but also one at 33.
Yeah.
Because I tell you, I worry about that all the time. I mean, I thought I was going to be in a very different place at my age. I thought I was. I remember going in college, and I was in one of the band fraternities, and the new members come through, and one of the questions they always ask is, "Where do you still see yourself in 5 years?" And I would give them the answers that I thought, and they're miles away from where I am today. Mm-hmm. Some ways in a good way, some ways not so good, because I get to do what I love, like this right now. But it's not. No one has a perfect life, so you always want better,
right?
But you got to enjoy and live the life you got, because you only get one.
Yeah, I mean, I slogged through a job that I disliked. For 5 years I worked at the same job, and I hated, the work I was doing for the most part, but it was easy. And what it allowed me to do is it allowed me time to focus on the stuff that I really wanted. And I'm lucky enough today to say that now I do that job for a living, and I don't have to do that awful job anymore, or deal with that stress of the, business possibly closing or things like that anymore. But I spent a lot of time before I found podcasting and gaming and the community building stuff and the event planning that I do. I spent a lot of time just wondering what it was I was supposed to do in this life. Mm-hmm. A lot of time. And it was hard because I knew I wanted to be doing something. I knew I really wanted to be involved more. And so I would just bounce around to things that I found interesting. I took improv classes for a while. I sang in choruses. I did things that were interesting to me. I really loved comedy. I loved music. I loved entertainment. And it just started to evolve into me saying, okay, I like this. I don't like this. Try stuff. Don't be afraid to try, and don't be afraid to walk away if it doesn't feel right, or if it doesn't, interest you or make you happy. Marconin was, trained with audio and radio, and just on a whim decided to start making segments on shows, and offered his help, and then turned out that gig turned into Triple T in the future.
From one little thing grows so much,
right?
So you never know. You never know where. And I did it because I like it. It's something I enjoyed being creative and doing this, and that's kind of what you have to do with your life. Is, life is always a series of experiences, and find the experiences that you enjoy, and just kind of roll with it. There, it's you develop talents and proficiencies in things as you go along, and you like to do some things, and you can incorporate that into your life in bigger ways. Just like Jules is a perfect example of finding things she likes to do, and then it becomes a bigger part of her life, so much so that it overtakes other parts of her life, like her old job.
Yeah.
And she's able to make transitions and move forward in life. And it's, a river, there's not a natural river in the world that is simply straight. rivers always wander around, have forks, and have little estuaries that branch off and contribute. And that's kind of how life is. Life is like a river. It takes all these turns and changes, and some of them lead to the ocean, some of them don't. So you kind of find your way back. It's just that's kind of how we always have to go with the flow, and just sample life, enjoy life. You're young. You've got a lifetime of experiences ahead of you, and make the most of it.
Exactly.
Go try stuff. Try to cook a weird food once a month. Try and cook something you never cooked before. If you like music, both Jules and I are musical. So if you like music, try that. If you want to try a sport, find a community team that does that, or go to the YMCA and play basketball, or, go act, go do it. Life is meant to be sampled and enjoyed. So, do that and learn from it, and you'll be all right.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of fear in life of trying things, and then saying, okay, this doesn't fit. The way that you can avoid that is, don't be that guy that goes on social media and goes, hey guys, I'm totally going to take a lacrosse class. I'm totally taking a lacrosse class. And then you put this on social media, and then you go to your lacrosse thing and you go, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. And then you go to it, and then you're like, maybe it wasn't the best thing ever. But you just told the entire world that it was the best thing ever. And now everybody thinks that, when you're like, hey, how's that lacrosse thing going?
It wasn't for me.
Don't do that. But go and try it. And don't be afraid to say, I really, really love this, and then try it again and say, yeah, I still really love this. And I really do love this. And I really want to do more of it. Give yourself some time to just try things, and don't be afraid to say it's not fitting if it doesn't fit, or it's, don't try to convince yourself that it does if it doesn't. I think we all have been guilty of that in the past, where you think something should be super cool and you're like, this is amazing. I should keep doing all of this because it's amazing. And then you're like, yeah, it wasn't so amazing.
Yeah.
It wasn't so cool. But I think you're on the right paths, with the right mindset and the right philosophies, which is not just a given for people. Like, it's something that your parents have probably taught you. It's been modeled for you as well. So congratulations on that. 'Cause that is, you could be a deadbeat 18 going on 19-year-old on your, on your mom's couch watching Netflix and not really caring about doing anything more. And you're not.
Yeah. And I'm very happy to hear letters like this, because you hear about all the kids these days glued to their phones, not doing anything, and
Pokemon
here we have
Go.
Pokemon
Go. You're glued to your Pokemon. Oh, did I lose you? Did you lock up? Yes, you totally did. That picture right there. Somebody screen cap that. Oh, that's funny. That's really funny. Oh, I'm sure somebody just screen capped that.
Don't screen cap that.
The picture was amazing right there. It was just like, oh, I lost you again. Oh, no. Come back to me.
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm still here.
All right. You're good?
Yeah, I should be.
It's like, no, Skype, no.
I was really happy that it hadn't messed up yet.
I know. And then all of a sudden,
I was thinking that a while ago.
You're a little crunchy, but it's coming back.
Okay. Not sure what's up with it.
Yeah, audio's a little crunchy. Try turning your camera off for a second. You still there?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, just letting it catch up.
Okay. Let's see if that works. Let me move this over a little bit.
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie. Is it still crunchy?
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it's a little crunchy still.
Weird.
Silly internet. Well, we were pretty much done with the question anyway, so that's too funny.
Yeah.
Let's see. We've got 3 tell us one thing questions, so we can move on to those. Let's do that. I should close to say thank you so much, Jared, for sending us your question. And if you guys have your feedback that you want to share as well, you can do that at questions@torrentthinktank.com. That's our email address where you can share that with us. And share your feedback if you have thoughts or questions or comments about what Jared has sent us. We would like to hear about it. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. Yeah, you're still crunchy. It's weird.
All right.
So weird. All right, we're going to move your picture out of here and fix it. All right. So we're going to do some Tell Us One Thing, and we're going to do it right now. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
We read your submissions because reading your mind would just be creepy.
Nymphadora did capture that picture, by the way. It's on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw that. Thanks.
Thanks, Nymphadora. So Mehmet says, for this week's My Tell Us One Thing, I started with pain, then pleasure, then fear. Now, fun and silly. When was the last time you went all silly and did something you laughed about and then can still laugh about it today?
Oh, goodness. I saw this earlier, and I can't really think of anything off the top of my head something I just did that was outright silly.
Yeah.
What about you? Can you think of anything?
Yeah. Hang on a second. I'm going to try and see if I can pause this. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm going to try and pause your call here. Put call on hold. See if that helps you any. Test.
All right. Can you hear me?
Oh, that's better. Yes, that's better.
Okay. Not sure why that's messing up.
I don't know, but now you sound better, so that's good.
Good.
Excellent.
Good.
Okay, so I've got a good one of this.
Okay.
So last BlizzCon, that moment where you were, I don't know, I think you were there for this. So that moment where we're walking into the convention center on the first day, where everybody is packed in like cattle.
Yeah.
You know, like shoulder to shoulder cattle. You're standing outside waiting for the doors to open, and the crowd is like slowly starts to move forward as they open the doors, and people can actually move through the lobby to get to the front doors. So I have Evilani on one side of me, and I have my ex on the other side of me. And so we're walking, and everybody is holding their hands together so that we don't lose each other, because you can literally be ripped away from your friends just
Easily.
by the crowd just going pshunk. And so we clung to each other by holding hands. And because of the way we were walking, I could only kind of shuffle my feet. So what would happen is I would bounce off of my ex's shoulder, and I would bounce onto Eve, but I kept hitting her boobs. And every time I bounced, I would bounce off of her boobs, and we were both laughing because my shoulder just kept kind of like, I was like a weeble. I was just kind of back and forth, and I could not hold it back. I started laughing, and I could not stop laughing. Could not stop. I was laughing so hard, I was crying, and they're looking at me like, you idiot. Like, I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. And they're both holding on to me, just dragging me. They're like, will you walk and stop laughing? And I'm like, I couldn't stop. And so I got made fun of for the entire rest of the weekend for laughing about bouncing off of my friend's boobs. And I love her so much. She's so funny. And just like she thought it was funny, but I thought it was the funniest thing. And I don't know why. Maybe it was because I was tired or I was stressed out or what, because it was the day of Well Played.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can still laugh about that because I was a fool because I couldn't stop laughing. Oh, so dumb. That's me.
Still funny. But yeah, I do think I remember that because I think I was walking ahead of you guys or something. I remember
think
you
you
laughing.
heard me laughing and didn't know why.
Yeah.
Why I was in hysterics and crying because it was so dumb. But yeah, so I just lost my mind basically. Oh, can you think of anything?
I'm having a real hard time with this one. I
That's fine.
can't really think of anything.
Okay.
I mean, I was always too nervous and scared to act all silly. I was too afraid of being made fun of, so
Yeah.
I never really just cut loose for cutting loose's sake.
Oh,
So
God.
I can't think of anything. It's a tough one.
It's tough. I've had those moments though where I've just completely just gone bonkers and people are like, "What is wrong with you?" And I'm like, I'm silly." Like, and it doesn't involve me getting drunk. Like I just get punch drunk. Like I
Yeah.
just laugh and and I think it's a family trait actually because my mom's side of the family has this thing where we just when we were getting together when I was younger is that sometimes things would just be so funny that we would just laugh until we cried. And it was just like the stupidest thing in the world, but then we'd feed off of each other's laughter
Yeah.
and laugh until we were in tears. And it's just, oh gosh. I mean, I've done that with Jocelyn and Nevermore too, where we're just laughing so hard that we can't, like, it's so stupid why we're laughing, but we're so, I sang, if Barbara is still here on her birthday, I sang happy birthday to her in the Marilyn Monroe style.
Oh yeah.
But they were laughing so hard and I was laughing so hard that I could barely get through it because I was trying to just be all sexy and I couldn't stop laughing. Oh, it's so funny. Okay, so
Oh man.
we gotta start with the next one.
Yeah, from Zato, if you could spend gold cap on one item in WoW, assuming you had that much gold, what would you buy?
What would I buy? I already have the Ashes of Alar so I wouldn't buy that. I think it would be the Headless Horseman mount.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've tried so hard to get that mount for so many years. Oh, the Spectral Tiger. Oh, Navox, you're right. That's it. That's the one. I changed my mind. Changed my mind. Navox hit it.
Yep. That's a classic. It's a classic.
That Spectral Tiger is my favorite, and I'll never have it because it's like $500 on eBay or some crap.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Oh man, I'm thinking the same thing. Yeah, Tay just said in the chat room she'd buy the new spider mount, which would be a steal because right now the gold cap is 1 million and it's going to be 2 million to buy that mount in Legion.
Oh wow, 2 million.
2 million gold. It's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. What is the
But
gold cap going up to?
10 mil. They're just adding another decimal point to it. So I'd go that route with mounts too, but the only one that I know that you can buy of the three that I would want from the black market auction house is the Swift Zulian Tiger.
Oh yeah.
The old one from Zul'Gurub. I would want either that one, or if I could buy it, I'd take the if it's just like you can have any mount for 1 million gold, be like, I'll take the big Blizzard Bear from BlizzCon 2008 because I want that one so bad.
Yep.
And that's another one where the codes are very expensive on eBay. I one thing I would love, since this is going to be the 10th BlizzCon, I think, is it the 10th BlizzCon?
Mm-hmm.
I would love for for them to bring that back to be like part of the gift that you get in the swag bag. It's like, come on, man, let me have the big Blizzard Bear or have another one. I really hope they put a mount in there.
Yeah,
yeah.
one.
Yeah, I really hope they put a mount in that. Or I would also take the Black Karaji battle tank.
Nice.
That one
Nice.
from the opening of Encourage. I'd love to have that one. I've only seen it once in game, and it was a gnome warrior. Like the first time I ran Lost City of Tol'vir in Cataclysm,
Yeah.
the tank had it, and he was a Scarab Lord title. I was like, oh,
That sounds amazing.
so jealous.
So jealous. Oh, that's awesome.
So jealous.
Yeah. For me, it's the Spectral Tiger. Definitely.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Uh-huh.
She's a beauty.
Thanks, Navox. That's a good one. And the creepy one asks us, tell us one thing. What is the weirdest compliment you've ever received? Attached, you should find one a friend, my wife, and I got. It's an image Basically, the gist of it is that this guy was in a group with them, says, "You guys are nuts." It's like you're decent on the track team, then one day the Flash shows up and says, "Well, F this, I guess I'll hand out water." That's the compliment that they got in the gist of it.
Nice.
So what's the weirdest compliment you've ever gotten?
Oh man, this is, I don't know. I've gotten some weird compliments, but I don't know that they're appropriate for airwaves.
Are they sexual?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Okay, so then I'll make it easier on you and say I could
Okay.
probably say the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably not appropriate for a semi-family friendly show.
Well, and there was,
Well, that's the thing.
So-
You can't tell anybody that you got that compliment because it's weird.
yeah. Well, I mean, there was this that when I was in pep band, we went to the basketball tournament, and we were. It's one of the videos of me playing that's on YouTube of us playing, and the other band, like before the basketball game, before the conference game, the two bands are warming up, and we play kind of back and forth. We just play something else, and after it's over, I'm putting we're at the after the game's over, we're putting our horn, I'm putting my horn back in my case, and some people start walking up, and one of my bandmates taps me on the shoulder, and he's like, "Hey, they want to talk to you." I was like, "Okay," and it was the trombone section from the other pep band.
Okay.
And they just kind of looked at me, and then they like did the "we're not worthy" thing from Wayne's World. They like got down on the knees, started bowing, like, "We're not worthy." I was like, whoa. So that was weird because that hadn't happened to me before, and I was like, thanks.
Wow.
Thanks. And they were just like, "Yeah, man, that was great." I can't remember what all they said, but that was like, I was like, "Oh wow, that's weird," but thanks. 'Cause like that, because like my natural element is doing that, playing trombone in those pep things, because there's a lot of energy.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not like a classical setting. It's not like a smooth jazz combo thing. It's like in your face, let's play some toe tapping music.
Yeah.
And that's where my soul lived. So that's where I gave everything on that court. And that was one of the things that happened because of it. So that's kind of the
awesome.
weirdest one for me.
Well, I think it's a big, nice compliment too to say, you're totally into this, and it was awesome to watch you.
Yeah. And just to hang out with them for a little bit. We had to get on the bus pretty quickly, but like we talked for a few minutes. It was really cool.
That's really
So yeah,
cool.
that'd be the weirdest one for me.
The weirdest one for me came from work. At my previous job, I had two coworkers who were very different personality types. One of them was very much a kind of center of attention, loud, boisterous, very much animated personality, and the other one was very much a kind of straight-laced, quieter, more rigid personality. And the two of them clashed a lot, amicably, but they talked a lot, and then it was hard for them to understand each other. And we were in an open concept office. There were no walls or cubicles. It was just desk. And
Yeah.
in order for me to function and do the job that I was being paid to do, which was very, very administrative, very number-oriented, detail-oriented, I would just have to block them out so I could just focus. And I've developed this skill over years where in working in call centers where you just have constant noise around you, that you can just block out everything and not hear when someone is talking to you, or not hear anything except focusing on your stuff. And so they used to compliment me by saying that Jules is the kind of person, she's like, I've never met anybody who can focus like you can. And it was just like, okay. Cool, I guess. Like, I just, it was majorly for me. It was just for me to be able to function. Like, that's how I learned how to do it. It's just, just focus on the task at hand. Everything else is noise.
Yeah,
And,
it was something you developed by necessity.
yeah. But like they'd be talking directly to me and I'd have no idea. And they'd just have to shout my name to say, we're talking to you. And, oh, hi, what were you talking about? And I could literally like not know exactly anything about what they were discussing because I didn't hear any of it, even though they were like animatedly talking, So, yeah, if I knew how to lower it and like pick up on what's going on. Like I'm really observant about the stuff around me, but if I don't care about it, then I'm just like, forget it. So yeah, so that's the compliment that I got.
You
So
you
funny.
can really ignore us really well.
Yeah, and then the other ones I can't talk about on the show. So
Yeah.
so
Well, that was Tell Us One Thing, folks. Thank you for tuning in, and as always, you can send. We ask for the Tell Us One Thing questions on Thursdays, but you can also email them to us all throughout the week whenever you want. Questions at torrenthinktank.com, or you can send it to us on our Discord server, which is what's the URL? Is it tinyurl.com or is it bit? I can't.
tinyurl.com/ttt-chat2.
That's what it is. I knew the TTT chat too, but the prefix I was like, what? So yeah, send in your questions. We like it when you ask us questions because then we can answer them.
We do.
And it's fun.
We do. And speaking of sending us stuff, we have some feedback.
Yes, we do.
Read right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now bring you... Whoa, that's a lot of feedback.
We have feedback. We have feedback from, it says, Dear Triple T, Itris here with some feedback all the way from episode 180. Let me start by saying I think that some of the phrases used that I use some. Let me start by saying I think I use some phrases in hyperbole. I guess racism and prejudice are not words to be taken lightly, but that in regard to races of Azeroth, it would probably be ridiculous to harbor any true feelings of resentment toward an entire group of players. He's talking about the letter that we had about, do you have discrimination towards not like the opposite faction?
Yeah.
You made a good point in your discussion that the person's tendencies can change based on their character. Jules might never gank or camp someone, not only because the Jules that we know and love doesn't seem like that kind of person, but the character she chooses to play doesn't really equip her for that kind of aggressive gameplay. Now, if she mained a rogue and someone was ornery enough, would she shank someone? Not necessarily rhetorical. On that note, since we've discussed the ties that everyone has to the characteristics of their main, what do you think is a class that you cannot connect with or have the most difficulty connecting with? I have a friend that has every class at max level, so obviously this doesn't apply to everyone. Personally, the malicious nature of a warlock has always been a turnoff to me. I've tried. I've leveled up 1 to 16 once, and then I read Rise of the Horde, saw them relish in the agony of others, the movie portrayed it also, and my brother can't stand to play anything with a robe or glowing hands, but that doesn't bother me much. I can play a mage or a priest, but not a warlock. It just doesn't click to me. So what about you? Ever tried to play or decided against playing a class that just doesn't seem to fit? Keep up the good work from Itris on Korgrath US.
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question. For me, it has usually been rogue and priest because I don't really heal that much ever. And so there's like just one spec for the priest that I could use, and I already play mage. So for me, I was like, well, it doesn't really click with me. And also rogues never clicked with me because I hated getting ganked so much, and that whole sneaky, just, trolly kind of nature of rogues never really clicked with me. I will say though that I on the beta this past weekend or on Sunday, I tried out outlaw rogues for the first time, and I went through and did the quest chain and everything. And outlaw rogues, they're like swashbucklers. They're like pirates, like ha ha, and with their swords and stuff. And I really did feel like a pirate, and all the sound effects of the clinking swords and everything. It sounds really cool. And so I'm actually leveling my Pandaren rogue right now, trying to get her ready to get some swords and start swashbuckling. So I'm starting to warm up to the rogues a little bit. And I kind of was like that with warlocks too, because they're like the dirty evil cousin to mages.
Yeah.
And but I was able to craft a story with with my warlock, she is Marconin's younger sister, who was kidnapped by the Shadow Council, or the whatever they are, the Twilight cult, and kind of brainwashed. So that's how I can work that's how I can justify it.
Yeah.
What about you, Jules?
Yeah, for me, I started out playing a rogue, and I just never clicked with it, but I was too stubborn to stop playing it up to level 70 in Burning Crusade. So I got her up there, and then I literally just switched to Paladin right after I dinged. But I actually, for me, it's Warrior. I cannot connect with a warrior, and it's not that I have anything wrong with the class. It's just that I don't connect at all to either just being a brute or being a meat shield.
Yeah.
It just doesn't that's not my play style. It's not my my preferred. I don't like melee. I don't like healing. To me is that's my thing. Just because I have the instincts for it, but that's always been how I've been. So, but starting out and playing MMOs, I was a scrapper in City of Heroes, which was the ones that were up there right in the face punching things. And I don't know why I clicked to that, but then it just stopped. So, but Warrior I've never gotten a Warrior past level 5. So it just doesn't stick with me at all. I don't like it.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way about warriors until I decided to make a Worgen warrior, because she's very strong and savage, and that kind of fit the warrior kind of just kind of mindset. So that's how I was able to plow through and get a warrior to 100.
Yeah.
It was just because I just kind of she took on her own character, and I was like, yeah, I can pilot this character. Yeah. Not so much a direct reflection of myself like my monk or paladin, but
exactly.
It's a fun character to play.
Exactly. So that's a good question, though. Thank you,
Yeah.
Itris, for that. You want to try to put your camera back on, see if that works?
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. I was just thinking about that. I'm still here.
I'm still here. See if it works.
Yeah, hopefully it'll work.
Oh, it doesn't like it. Okay. Let's see. Try it.
Maybe now?
Let's see if it catches up.
Okay. We will give it a shot.
Yeah, it's kind of, sort of.
Alrighty.
Yeah, turn the camera off. It gets your audio crunchy. Oh, well. Audio gets better when you turn it off, so.
Yeah, I may see about getting a new modem.
Okay. Well, then let's just do some slash move, shall we?
Let's do it.
And chat room, you have a little bit of time if you want to toss a couple in there, and get there. Go ahead and toss a couple in there before we get through the list. Starting with the first one from Zafira. She says, slash move to everyone here. It's always great to see everyone in game and here with the chat room and Discord. Thank you. Thankful for all of you.
Absolutely. And also from Mementh, slash move for those that were safe on the 4th and did not do stupid fireworks.
It's funny this year. I haven't seen as much negativity for fireworks as I have this year.
Oh yeah.
This year, I saw so many people that were just like anti-firework, and for me, I don't really care. I don't care. Like, I don't go to fireworks. I don't shoot them off. I'm not the thing. But in this year in particular, there were a lot of people who were very critical about the effect of fireworks on their pets, on veterans, that kind of thing, which I found was very interesting. Yeah,
I noticed that on social media as well. And that's a very respectable thing, especially for the veterans. Mm-hmm. But I like fireworks. I didn't shoot any off this year because I was honestly very tired and I had to work that day, so I didn't really feel like getting out and buying any. But I do like fireworks. It's just didn't happen to have any this year. But yeah, it is different seeing the anti-firework thing.
Yeah, it was different this year. I haven't seen that before.
It was a little bit different for us.
Yeah. From Old Man Franks, he says slash move to Jules RPG and Marconin for episode 190 of Triple T. Your discussion concerning employment was exactly something I needed to hear today. And, so thank you. You're supposed to slash move us, but thank you.
Yeah, but yeah, thank you for that. I'm glad it helped, man.
Me too.
From 112 slash moo to all who sent positive healing vibes my way. They definitely worked.
Congratulations. Eric has been recovering from shoulder surgery, which he had just had right before the Minnesota meetup, and he's been doing really well.
Yeah, he's doing really well. That's awesome.
Yes. From Memeth, he says, major bear cuddles to those families who lost people in Dallas and other places recently. I hate cops killing people and people killing cops. Hugs for all affected. Yes.
Absolutely.
And our thoughts and prayers are with France today. The horrible situation that's been unfolding before the show. And I haven't looked at the news since we started around 8 o'clock, but it is awful. And so my thoughts and prayers are with the people of France right now.
Absolutely. It was my goodness.
Oh God.
Boggles my mind.
I know.
The next item up for bid comes to us from our buddy Felix. Slash moo to Sunday Mass Res for downing heroic Archie on only the 7th pull.
Wow. That's
nice.
Fantastic. And from Zato, slash moo to all the people who contribute to the Well Played Kickstarter. It's going to be huge. I agree.
Huge.
I agree. And we have some in the chat room. From Tasia, he says, slash moo going out to Terarts. She's such an awesome mom, friend, and still finds the time to work so much with the CTR Guild. Love her to death. And I 100,000% agree with that. Terarts is amazing.
Absolutely. Big slash moo to Terarts.
And
we have another one
Draven.
in there.
Yeah, the one from Draven.
Oh, yeah. Slash moo to from Draven Dresden. Slash moo to myself for not reaching through the phone and strangling the person on the other side today.
Good for you.
Yes.
Good for you, man.
That is preferable. That is preferred to the choking through the phone.
Yes, most definitely. And that is all the slash moos. Thank you. I just need to give a huge slash moo to every single person who donated to the Well Played Kickstarter. And to a very, very additional huge slash moo to Thule and 112. Without those two gentlemen, our Kickstarter would not have funded and would not have reached the goals that we did. So I need to thank them both so much for their generosity. And to the entire Well Played Kickstarter BlizzCon committee, who have been amazing and working their butts off to make this happen. They're working really hard, and they're going to continue to work really hard. So,
I got some ringtones to make.
You got some ringtones to make. And I don't know if you know this, but because we funded the Hearthstone Fireside Gathering and tournament, it's going to be coordinated by none other than Jocelyn Moffat from the Angry Chicken podcast.
What?
Jocelyn is going to be helping us with that project.
Jocelyn.
And running it from the show, from the party. So,
that's fantastic.
Yeah. So she's volunteered to help us out, which she's done these before. It's amazing. I can use the help, and I'm so excited. So to my girl Joss, I love you. Thank you so much. And we're gonna we're gonna buy a 360-degree camera to be able to get the full experience of the space for the live stream, and also to create videos for the packages afterwards, which is so cool. I'm so excited with all the things we're gonna do this year. We have a photo booth again this year.
I need to get in there. I didn't get a chance to do that last year.
Oh my gosh, yes, you were there late, so I don't know if you ever got a chance to go in, but
that's. The voice acting panel went so late.
I know.
So
yeah,
I was so mad.
Where is Marconin? God.
Way to follow the graphs.
So that is a show, my friends. Our show is available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and our website, which is torrenthinktank.com. All of the podcasts are there, including all of the YouTube videos of every show that we have recorded on YouTube. Right there.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. So we should be back on a normal schedule at this point. I don't have any trips planned at the moment. I don't have anything going on. I am so freaking excited to have this part done, like the move thing done, and I could start setting up my apartment and feeling more comfortable in it. And so, yes, like a lot of the big changes have now been put behind me, which is so cool.
Yeah, it's definitely awesome, and I'm very glad that these turn of events has happened, because I know where you are and where you're going. You're very happy with it, and I'm very happy for you.
Thank you, my dear. Yeah, it's been a road, and like I said, 7 months ago, I wouldn't have envisioned I would have been here right now. So, and another big change tomorrow, and then things should start settling down for me, and I start becoming a single woman again. Good Lord, that's weird. So yeah. Anything else that's going on before we take this show to its close?
Oh, not really that I can think of. If anybody out there that whether you contributed to the Kickstarter or not, if you guys have any suggestions or ideas that you might want to see me do for the ringtones, I am taking ideas, because I've got some already kind of ironed out, but I will always take suggestions. What kind of voices or what kind of themes would you want? Don't stick to just WoW. Anything Blizzard related or something you might think funny, I'll entertain any ideas.
Yeah, and the Kickstarter surveys will include a question about your ringtones as well. So
yes.
Anybody who is eligible for the ringtones will be asked to give their ideas, and those surveys are on their way soon. I'm finishing them up this week, and be sent out probably within the next couple of days. So time to plan.
Yes.
So yes, so much to do, no time to do it.
So yeah, that's really the only thing I got going on. I mean, I'm trying to make as much gold as possible, because I know that the pre-patch is coming soon. TM. So really on the gold train, trying to get as many gold missions as I can done. Go, go, go.
Go, go, go. Well, in the meantime, I don't know if there's a drinking and swearing tomorrow, because I don't know if Pat's going to be set up to do that. It was his goal today or tomorrow to get something functional so that he could play. So we'll see. The studio remodel has been a nightmare, and I've seen it firsthand now. It's a nightmare. It's coming along, but it's a rocky road to get there. So yes, so we'll see what happens for this weekend. I'll be watching Heroes of the Storm on Sunday for the qualifiers for regionals, and doing a lot of work. So
yeah.
So sounds like a plan. And for that, we are going to bring this show to a close. As soon as I find my soundboard, right here, right now. Here we go. Tauren Think Tank is a proud member of the Signals Media All-Star Network. Find out more about the other great shows in the network by going to signalsmedia.com.
Portions of the music and sound effects heard on this show can be found at incompetech.com and freesound.org. You can also find us outside of the show on our website, taurenThinkTank.com, which has all of our podcasts and information on how to get in touch with us, too.
Thank you to all who support our show via Patreon. If you'd like to help out Triple T, you can do so at patreon.com/TaurenThinkTank. Want to find and meet other members of the Triple T community? Join our Discord server. The quick way to get there is tinyurl.com/TTTchat2.
You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/TaurenThinkTank. You can also find us on Twitter for the show at TaurenThinkTank. You can find Jules at JulesRPG, and myself, Marconin, at MarconinWow.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, chat room, for being with us tonight, hanging out every Thursday night at 8 o'clock Central Daylight Time. You can find us on the video stream at twitch.tv/TaurenThinkTank. Our mobile audio stream is through Alpha Geek Radio at tunein.alphageekradio.com. We love seeing you here with us, however you can be with us.
Yes, we do.
We do. Marconin.
Jules.
It's so nice to be back again.
It's good to be back.
It's so good to be back. Keep filling up our mailbox, folks. We've been getting questions, but we can use more, so send them our way. Questions at torrentThinkTank.com. That's how you get to us. Send us your questions. Get ready for Legion. Think about all those great things that are going on with your life during the summer. There you go. And we'll be back next week, won't we?
Yes, we will.
Perfect. So then I'll see for myself, for Marconin, for the entire chat room. Until next time, /moo, everybody.
/moo.
Tauren Think Tank. We make your problems less bad.
This podcast is a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. For more information on this and other fine shows, go to signalsmedia.com. It's okay to stick our stuff in your ears. Really?
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 Barber nailed it with the show title. Don't origami and drive.
Mm-hmm.
I still have
Put my
last
camera
time.
back
If you
up.
do you do you, boo boo.
You do you, boo-boo. What's that smell?
Don't origami or igami and drive. What do you think will be in the goodie bag this year? Ooh, good question.
That is a very good question. Whew.
What do you think will be in the goodie bag? There will definitely be. I wonder if they're going to do an exclusive Overwatch skin for BlizzCon.
Ooh.
For a certain character.
That would be cool. I mean, they would have to do a character that everybody likes.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one, Nifadora. I like that one. Let me get that command. Hold on.
Really?
Do.
I think they'd sell them in the store again because I think that was a good way to make the people feel like they were there. I know a lot of people that got them and they were happy that they were able to get them. So I think they would do it again. Let's see. What could they do? It would be cool if they had if they put whatever this next series of pins are, if they would do one of those. Because I love those pins. I've got the little box of them up on the thing behind me, but I was gonna actually get a cork board. I know Nevermore told me to do this like months ago.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna put a cork board like against the wall right here and just line them up. It'd be easier than just kind of sitting them way back there.
Yeah, definitely.
I would love a mount for that to be one of the digital rewards. Love it.
Mm-hmm. That'd be really cool. I don't know. I actually found my BlizzCon goodie bag when I was moving. That messenger bag was super cool. Like Tiber just said, it was super cool. So I don't know how they could top that unless they gave us like a backpack or something.
Yeah, I think that's what they would have to do.
Mm-hmm.
I still have my little the Protoss Psyblade from this past year, the little inflatable one.
Oh yes, I think I got rid of that because I didn't want to move it.
Yeah, I kind of have a few of them in here.
Let's see what else. I really like the posters but the posters are so hard. That because they get wrinkled and it's you gotta get little stuff that's not gonna get damaged when the people are packing it up in their suitcase.
Yeah.
So. I think like a Hearthstone wallet or something like that, like the wallets that they made would be a cool thing. A wallet for the guys, or a little change purse or something like that. Oh,
or if they did
the Murloc coin purse from the Dorado cinematic with the little girl and Soldier 76, the little Murloc coin purse.
Yeah.
Make that thing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It would be cool if they did like an exclusive Funko Pop figure for Overwatch or something.
Sure.
Because I found out through a Reddit page called Loot Crate Spoilers that last month's Loot Crate, the exclusive Overwatch figure was one of the Racer Tracer skins.
Uh-huh.
So like the black and green one. So like the last day, I was like, "There's $20. Give me the box because that's all I want." So I got the little Funko thing. She's sitting back there with Farah and the rest of them.
Yeah. You can't see them. My Funkos are behind me on the lower shelf, but I have a total of 3.
Yeah.
My
Nothing
3,
wrong with that.
Garrus, Illidan, and my signed She-Ra.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And I now have to get some things framed for the walls. So I have to get the gift that you gave me. And I got a beautiful poster from BIM that I need to get framed.
That's right. I remember
the
that.
Noxy2 poster. And then I have my colored She-Ra print that was colored and signed by the artist for She-Ra. And so I can't remember because I haven't taken Jem out. Is that the actress that signed it, or is that the artist that signed it?
The actress.
Yeah, it was okay.
Samantha Newark. Yeah.
Okay, there's the actress. I hadn't taken it out of the package since I moved, so.
No worries.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going back and forth whether or not I'd go to that Little Rock Comic Con, and then they were like, "Yeah, the voice of Jem and the holograms is there." I was like, okay, okay. I guess
That was
I could do
amazing too. Marconin gave me that when I saw him at the Minnesota meetup, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's amazing!" So
yeah, it was funny walking up to her. She's like, "Hi, what's your name?" I was like, "Hi," I was like, and I didn't say anything like, I don't know much about Jem, but I was like, my friend Jules loves Jem, and I'm gonna see her next month. Could I get an autograph?
Yeah.
And she was very, very nice.
that was awesome.
And very, and she was like, and she's like, if something messes up with the autograph before you leave, just come back. I'll do another one.
Oh, that was
I was
really
like, well,
sweet
thank
of
you
her.
so much.
Yeah, I can't wait to frame that and put it up on the wall. I've got Jem, I've got She-Ra. I mean, it's like all my 80s stuff and like right there.
Yeah.
Try to get them into this corner over here so you guys can see them.
My nerdy corner.
Yes, it's my nerd corner. So, all right, folks. Well, I'll get this show ready to post and put it up today. And so it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to be back. Got to shower you
yeah.
with all our stories of what's been happening. So.
And if you like 80s nostalgia and you liked Voltron, go watch the new series on Netflix.
Oh, the Voltron series.
Yeah, Legendary Defender, I think. It's good. It's really good. I'm ready for season 2. I binge watched it in a day.
That's awesome.
They did a really, really good job with bringing it up into the present. So yeah.
That's awesome. Very, very cool.
Yeah, Navox is right there with me.
Voltron's so good.
So good. I need to get the 5 lions and put it up here. I used to have them when I was little. I had the lions, but they got thrown out somewhere or something.
Bummer.
So, yeah, I need to get some lions and have a little figure of him somewhere up there.
That's awesome.
Right next to Soldier 76. Maybe. I'm not a young man.
I'm not a young. Well, that's actually really good.
Target-rich environment.
Damn it.
If I could work it up, I'd put that in the ringtones.
Yeah, I think you could totally do it.
There's some Overwatch themed ones in the pipeline. So
I love it. I love it. So we'll be
got
getting
some
all that
ideas.
stuff. We'll get all those ideas for you.
What are you linking at me here?
Yeah.
Now let me click on that. Oh yeah. It's the Funko, the Funko Pop Voltron. I do need to get it. Still need Johnny Five from Short Circuit.
Yeah, they still need to make it.
I know. Come on, Funko, do it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right,
So, yeah.
folks, we're going to get out of here, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for hanging out with us on Thursday. We'll see you soon.
See you next week, guys. Bye. /boo.